and I think I will watch it again just to catch the shit that I missed, and also for Johnny Gill's performance. I can't remember the brother's name. I'm sorry, but I will because he knocked it out the park. He deserves an Emmy for this, straight up. And here's the review. What you gonna do? What you gonna do? What you gonna do? All right, let me start with some spirits coming this motherfucker for real. So, yo, I just got done with season 2 of Them, titled Them Scare. So this show was originally conceived by Little Marvin. I don't know much of his work. I just always see that name in the titles, Little Marvin. So once again, the show stars, how do you say her name? Shit. Damn, I even forgot the first name. Yo, I was so busy trying to remember her last name, I forgot her goddamn first name. But I know the last name is Ayo Ryan, Ayo Leon, Alien, Ayo Ryan, whatever. The same chick, the lead that was in the first season, is now in this season. So then, of course, is the anthology series. If you haven't seen season 1, feel free to check it out. Personally, I wasn't the biggest fan of season 1. I thought it was just a little too, I think the frosting was just a little too thick with the woke stuff. And not so much the woke stuff. I just felt like black people were done so dirty in that show, and I feel like we didn't get enough retribution. You know what I mean? And not to mention the showrunners are black. I'm like, dog, the appeal of blaxploitation is showing us how we get treated dirty, right? And then how we come out on top at the end. There was really no retribution in season 1, at least not enough for me, compared to what we went through. But it was shot very well. I think it was directed very well. They had some nightmare fuel like a mother. So I will give credit where credit's due. Just as a story, as a narrative, I feel like I didn't get enough out of that one. I'm going to say straight off the bat, season 2, Them, The Scare, is way better. Way better than season 1. Way better than season 1. Okay. Just everything about this season worked. That season. Another issue with season 1 was that I felt like narrative-wise it was just all over the place. You know what I mean? It just didn't feel cohesive. Here, you get a cohesive story, even though it does follow 2 different characters. But of course, not to spoil, but everything does kind of come together where you're like, okay, all this shit makes sense now. So like I said, the lead lady, right, from the first season, here she plays a detective. So season 1 took place in the 50s. This takes place in the 90s. So this time around, she's a detective, and she has to investigate these mysterious murders that's been happening where this foster mother gets fucking... like Vecna got to her. I could say, well, they did kind of bite off of Stranger Things here, like how people get killed, they get all distorted and shit, and all jacked up and everything. And I don't know what the fuck this was, but yeah, straight up bit off of Stranger Things, but cool, whatever. These murders are okay. She's trying to figure out what's going on with these murders. Okay, who's doing this? And she keeps hearing the man with the red hair. So her partner happens to be a white dude with red hair. So, is it this guy? Who could this killer be? So what we get is a Scooby-Doo mystery type deal, but done very well. The writing here is spectacular, the acting. And of course, Ayowande is the standout. It also, I'm bad with names, y'all, because I try to remember all the names. That's the old man brain kicking in. Okay, I'm gonna put his name in up here somewhere. But I remember him mostly as Johnny Gill from the New Edition story. He knocks it out the park with this performance. He is the clear standout. Okay, this guy, this almost is like a Joker origin story. Okay, this is a supernatural villain origin story here where you sympathize with this character, but every time he's on screen, he makes you feel uncomfortable because he's just so unhinged. He's just so awkward around people, and you just feel uncomfortable every time you watch him, but yet you do really feel sorry for him. Like, you want to give him a hug and tell him, brother, it's going to be okay, but at the same time, you're like, I need to get the fuck away from this guy. You know what I'm saying? Like, brother, you ain't right. Something ain't right with you. So, yeah, he knocks out the park with his performance as the unhinged character of Edmund Gaines. And I remember that because I said, okay, that's a homage to Ed Gaines. If you don't know who Ed Gaines is, Ed Gaines inspired Leatherface, Norman Bates, and Hannibal Lecter, all right, all in one. Ed Gaines was one of the craziest motherfuckers ever lived, and he just happens to have that name. So, of course, it wouldn't be them if you didn't have themes in this movie, in this show. So you have themes of the ramifications of foster care gone wrong. So when you put kids in foster care, when you put them in the system, the terrible things that can happen and how it affects them for the rest of their lives. And also, of course, the crooked police system, which I know a lot of Back to Blue people are going to get offended for some reason. I just thought about Officer Tatum, Brandon Tatum, and I used to play a character which was a caricature of that guy called Officer Jackson. But I fell back from doing those videos because people thought I was being serious. People took my videos seriously, and I'm like, no, I'm playing a character. I'm copying this guy. But I can see a lot of pro Back to Blue people getting upset about how the police are being portrayed here. But you got to think this is 1991. This is during the Rodney King beating time, and yeah, police were not very loved back then. So I think it's not so much a hit piece on the police, it's just how the police were perceived back then, especially the LAPD, which was known for being very corrupt. So somewhat factual, could, a little fictionalized. Of course, it's a show. They got to put a little extra frosting on that motherfucker. But there is some factual to this. So, anyways, y'all. Once again, this has dope ass nightmare fuel. We get introduced to the new baddie here, who is very memorable looking and does have a backstory. His character is really fleshed out, and he's just as memorable as Ezra Vecna. Probably not as scary as Vecna, and he did kind of copy off of Vecna a little bit, but I think almost just as effective. You know what I mean? So yeah, this is definitely a good watch. I highly recommend it. It's 8 episodes, and they're short episodes. They're like no more than 40 minutes a piece. So yeah, binge this, check it out. You'll be scared a little bit. I think your heart will break a couple of times, and there's some twists and turns that you do not see coming. And believe it or not, it does tie into the first season. Okay, because I thought it was just a whole separate thing that was on its own, like an anthology. But no, it does, like, it's kind of anthology, but it does tie in to season 1. And you're like, oh shit, okay, I see what they did now. And Ty West actually directed the last episode here. Ty West is responsible for the X trilogy, which I'm now a new fan of, even though I didn't care for the first X. I did like Pearl, and I'm really looking forward to Maxine. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, not rambling on. Check the show out. All right, I dug it. I give it an A. I think I gave season 1. A C, but this one's definitely an A, and I think I will watch it again just to catch the shit that I missed, and also for Johnny Gill's performance. I can't remember the brother's name, I'm sorry, but I will, because he knocked it out the park. He deserves an Emmy for this, straight up. That's it and that's all. I'm out.